This is a pretty, I'd say a pretty big indie title, kind of probably made famous on YouTube and Twitter. It's called The Lucent. It's one actually I've been looking forward to reading for a good while, and I saw it was on Global Comics. Part of me was apprehensive about trying to do a video on it because sometimes, like, the creator of this book is, quite big on YouTube and stuff like that, and sometimes you feel like you get to know someone just from watching all their videos, and then if you have a criticism of their book, it's kind of hard to do. It's probably the best thing. Now, I don't really have any major kind of scathing criticisms of this book. I have to say I really did enjoy it. I'm just going to talk about the stuff I really liked, and then there was nothing really bad. I have a few kind of just thoughts on it as in a series and where it's going to go and stuff like that. But essentially, the Lucent it seems to be broken up into four. Is it one, two, three? I think four scenes or maybe five scenes, and it's based around this character called Ella, who seems to have the ability to have these like lucid dreams, and like anyone who has a lucid dream, you can almost do whatever you want in it. But she's been trained by this guy on how to kind of do stuff. Like, he keeps turning up in her dreams all the time. But then the story has these kind of bookend scenes. Like, this is the first scene here on screen, which is it's like a father carrying his son out to meet this other dude in it looks like a kind of chamber. Now, this is quite eerie. Like, I really did like the opening scene, I have to say, for a lot of reasons. Like, it looks like this guy he's doing all kind of experiments. He's got bodies cut up and stuff like that. But what I liked, the dialogue is really good here, and it's a kind of a narrator, or well, I think it's the father and son talking. But what I loved about it, when I was reading my tablet last night, there's such a great page turn here. This page turn here, like, where the guy, it's like he's coming out of his chamber, and you have this shot here, like at the top you've got the Lucent wake and dream, and it's just that kind of sheer cliff face with the gap in between, and you can see the figure coming down the steps to meet this father, like, and that was quite impactful, when I was like flicking through the pages. Like, it was really nice. I don't even know how good that read on a physical copy, but digitally it was a really nice page turn. Like, the art style is not something I would go like instantly towards, like, because to me it's like super realistic. Like, it looks quite cinematic, and like you could instantly just port it out to a movie or like a TV series or something like that. Now, I know a lot of people dig that style and they're into it. Like, I'm a bit more into stuff that's kind of probably less perfect, like it's a bit more kind of rough around the edges and it looks a bit more kind of hand drawn and stuff like that. And so yeah, like, I can appreciate how beautiful it is, like, and for example, on cinematic, there's one scene that I thought was really kind of like, there's a lot of cool scenes in it, like the scene where the character Ella, her father is giving her up to this man to protect her. It's very Matrix kind of feel, excuse me, and there's some cool kind of coloring in that scene, lots of blues and stuff like that. Like, but I thought this this scene here really kind of sums up just how cinematic, and like, she's there is a scene with her kind of in her normal life, like there's a dream world scene and kind of this where she works in a bookstore. But I just love this where, she's leaving, like, the lighting is done so well, even crossing the street here, and you've got the pools of light from the street lights. Then she's down in the underground, she gets on the train, she's looking at her phone, and then you've got this shot of the kind of mood and the light and all is really good, and like the characters' faces are great. But this here where, like, you can see her, like, this is a reflection, and in the reflection is this guy who's appeared in her dream. So like, they're hinting that the dream world and the real world are kind of mixing together. Feels a bit like what's it called, Inception or something like that. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of books where you can't tell what's reality and what's not. Like, at the moment it's kind of clear what's going on, but we'll see as time goes by. But I just love this series of panels where she looks up, and it's almost like maybe she kind of had a sixth sense, but she looks up, sees him, then you've got a big reaction of her turning like over her shoulder, and like I thought that was a cool shot, you know, just all the people on the train, and this guy has his feet up on his bag, and so just kind of some nice touches there. And then she notices that the guy is gone from the reflection, or well, he's not there in reality. And then you know she's kind of got that shock look on her face, like. But that's kind of a small snippet of how it's just you could, like, it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. You could kind of see that in a TV show like straight away. And then I guess another big impact on this story is the environments. Like I just couldn't. I don't have the meticulous kind of artist brain like to do the type of stuff here that the creator of this book done. Here it is. It's a double page spread. Like this probably sums it up the most. Like, that's fucking nuts. I could never do that. Like, I think this is all done digitally. Like, but what I didn't notice at first, which I thought was an amazing touch, like this obviously would have taken ages. I love all of these birds. It may not be obvious here. I don't know if I can zoom in here. Can I zoom in? It might give me portions of it. Yeah, this is nice. Like, so you can kind of see the characters. But what I didn't, or not the characters, the birds. But what I didn't notice at first, which was a really nice detail, is you see Ella here standing on the building, and then across here you can see her reflection in that the window of that skyscraper, which is really, really nice. But I guess the only criticisms I would have is, and it's this kind of runs through a lot of indie books, like this feels like a massive scale, and like it's setting the stage to like a really big story. And a lot of indie books, you know, if someone's lucky, it comes out like a volume or like a part will come out once a year. Like, so I don't know if it's sustainable. It like is kind of creators keep doing this, keep pushing this stuff out, like, and keep the interest there, because I don't know, it's hard. Sometimes you can forget about books, and then you might realize, you know, a year or two later, oh, there's a follow-up coming out to that, and what happened in the first part, you know, you're just kind of a bit confused, and you're trying to make up for it. So I think this is always the weak point for me in indie comics. Like, if you're reading like something from Marvel or DC or Image Comics, whatever, you're kind of getting that monthly thing, and you know, there's an installment and you're following along, like, and I do hope more of that comes out digitally, because for me as a reader now, especially someone who's doing a lot of reading digitally, which I never thought I would, and it's solely down to buying a tablet and using Global Comics, like, I'm starting to see the strength of the kind of you know, just something monthly coming out, like. But the only other thing is there's the odd character looks a bit stiff, I would say, in some panels, but a lot of it's fantastic, like, and even her face, like, she's done really good in a lot of it, like, really, really hot girl, like, which is always goes down a treat. And there's a really cool scene at the end. I like, this is a kind of a spoiler thing, like, you know, and I'm not showing everything, so if someone's planning on reading this, definitely don't look at the end here. But it's like Ella almost goes into the body of a some guy back in history, and this page here where all these Roman soldiers are stabbing a crowd of people, and like in the middle is this character that looks like who Ella is. It's like she's inhabiting him for this dream. That's how I kind of read it. But then here they're directly stabbing him then, and then you can see this energy build up in him, and he's saying all are worthy, and then there's like this big explosion where he just rips through all the soldiers. Like, I thought that was the most impressive scene, like, and I think a big strength in this is the lighting. Like, you know, there's a lot of scenes with some really cool lightings where the values, you know, like it just, things feel like they're really bright or in shadow, you know, like that whole kind of lighting aspect is really good here, and it's definitely a strength, like. But that's the Lucent. Yeah, obviously will read the next part to kind of see where it goes, and I'd say even the art will have moved on leaps and bounds since it, because I think this is a good few years old now at this point. Like, but yeah, look, I'm at 10 minutes. I didn't know how long I'd go on this one. Have a good one, folks.